Hi all, a warm welcome to the Salesforce non-profit user group Chennai event. So this event has been co-hosted by Salesforce user group Chennai. Uh, so both of us hosting this event. Uh, so a Saturday morning, right? So thanks everyone to join. For the learning event today. So actually today we are going to learn Salesforce Flow HTTP Callouts, and followed by we have one announcement Trailblazer meetup event. So this is actually hosting by Salesforce user group Chennai. So they have a 100 days challenge. You will get to know once Salesforce Flow HTTP Callouts events completed. Then we do have a Q&A session. Whatever questions you have, please post in the chat group. That is what around this event will take around 11 to 12:30, right? 1.5 hours. We are going to learn something today. So as part of non-profit user group, we have a two lists. One is Krishnamurthy Mohan is working in 10th Planet. He's a solution delivery manager for Salesforce and Oracle SAP. These three products they are early. Then I'm Hayappan Mani. I'm working in Logitech as a Salesforce administrator. So I do have 8+ years experience in Salesforce implementation and other steps as well. So that's one. So this is a today's topic: Salesforce Flow HTTP Callouts, no code solution for API integration. This is actually we thought to give a demo on that. So Salesforce pretty much keen on a no code solution. So this is most people would like to learn and implement the solution in the current organization. That's the thing. Then forward-looking statement, as you have seen in multiple sessions, right? So don't make any purchase decision based on this event. So please check Salesforce website before purchasing or implementing anything. That is what our request here. Then, as far as Salesforce way, right? We used to say thank at the beginning of the event. So whoever participated and spending the time to learn today. So thank you once again. So here today speaker for the Salesforce Flow HTTP Callouts, Rajesh Babu. So he's working in HCL technology and senior Salesforce solution architect. He did multiple implementation as well as completed a lot of certification as Salesforce certification. So he's coming forward, take up the session whenever we ask. He's giving his time towards sharing the knowledge. So thanks, Rajesh, for giving session today. And we do have a Salesforce user group. Then we'll see. I don't want to take much of your time. Maybe Rajesh, take your time. Hand over to you, so you can go with the session today. I'll stop sharing.
So we will have that announcement after the session, right?
Yes, yes.
Perfect. Right. All right. A very good morning to you all again, and thank you so much. I know this is a weekend, and you are taking your time and then joining this session, which is wonderful. So without any further delay, right, we'll just get started. Yeah. So I'll just start sharing my screen. We'll do a look at what we are about to do. Okay, in the next 1 hour. Okay, and then we'll get started. So first things
Yeah, sure.
first, let me share my screen. All right. Anyways, I think I should. So, is it visible? I see. Yes.
Yeah, visible. Yeah, make it.
It's visible, right? Yeah. Good. Okay. All right.
Rajesh, make it as a presenter. So, yeah. Good.
Okay. Just a quick confirmation. I hope the deck is visible, isn't it?
Yes, yes, Rajesh.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll stop my video just to conserve some bandwidth. Okay, I'll do that. Super. So again, we all are here to learn about Salesforce Flow, especially the focus area on today's session is this HTTP callouts. Okay, so of course, Salesforce Flow, since when it was introduced in Salesforce, right? It's a game changer now, isn't it? So, in the no code solution space, correct? Salesforce Flow is really changing the way how we design our applications, how we design our implementation, isn't it? So there are lots we used to develop or we used to implement using only the code, correct? So you write Apex code or implementation done, isn't it? But now, that design, that implementation strategy is changing, isn't it? Because of features that are available in Salesforce Flow. One such HTTP clouds, isn't it? And that's the focus area, for our discussion today. So let's learn about this particular Salesforce Flow feature, making an HTTP caller, which is nothing but to an external API. So Salesforce needs to call an external API for various reasons, and then we will see how we can able to do that without writing a single line of code, and then start processing the response. Okay, so that's the agenda, overall agenda for today's discussion. Okay, so we're gonna pick up two use cases today, and then implement that, and then see how we can uh, call, or we can make an API call from Salesforce Flow. Okay, so this is the first use case in front of us. Okay, so as a system administrator or a developer or a Flow developer, right, you have been asked, okay, to configure the system to show the current exchange rate. Because especially, right, when you support a Salesforce org that has multiple currency enabled, right, it is important to let the account owners and let the users know that the current exchange rate, right? So we're going to pick up that scenario. Okay, so that we can make use of one of the APIs, okay, external APIs, and then see how we can able to call that from Salesforce Flow. Yeah, so this is the business use case. I hope this is clear. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, how do we start? Okay, so this is the expected output before even we get started, right? This is the end goal. I wanted to show the exchange rate. So right now this org supports three currencies. Okay, Australian dollars, AED, and then Indian rupee. Okay, so whenever user comes to this page, he needs to see this exchange rate, and this data is live. you know so there is an API call made, and then the output is shown right on the screen. Okay, this is what we're gonna implement now. Once this use case is implemented, we will just shift to chat GPT integration. Okay, so something that one of the one of the key topics, right? Chat GPT these days, correct? Let's see how we can use that as well. Okay, in Salesforce using Flow. Yeah, so what is needed? Yeah, so I want to make a call to an external API from Salesforce. What is it that I need? Okay, there are a lot of APIs out there in the market that helps you to get the exchange rate. Okay, given a primary currency, it helps you to get the exchange rate. And for this demo purpose, what I'm going to use is I'm going to use this app.exchangerate-api.com, because this provides a yeah. So this exchange rate API provides a free version, the trial version. Okay, so this is how it will look like. I will go there and then show you right away. So what you can do is free. You can just use any of your email address and create a free login. Okay. So once you create a free login, you will be given an API key. Okay. So all I need is I need to make a call to this API. That's all it is. I need to make a call to this API. Once it's done. Okay. Once it is done, it will give me the output. So for example, I'll just try to open this in the browser. Okay, so this is my API key. So using this API key, I'm able to see the live exchange rate, keeping USD as a base currency. This is the exchange rate. If I just change this to INR, it will give me it will keep as the base currency, and it will give me all the exchange rate of other currencies. Okay, so one INR, if I have to cross check this against USD $0.012. Perfect. Yeah. So this is how it works. Okay, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this, and then let's try to find the exchange rate for just three currencies. Okay, I know there are a lot of currencies, right? here. But let's say we are going to just need information currencies. Okay, so this is the one that we are going to use it. Yeah. So again, you can also try this. This is completely free. All you have to remember is this is the one. Okay, allowed to give 500 requests. Okay, per day. Okay, 1,500. Okay, so anything more than that, you have to go for a premium version. But I think for our training purpose, for our learning purpose, this is more than sufficient. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so I'll go to the org. Okay, so all you need is for learning purpose, but the training is a playground org. Okay, so I'll go to my playground org, and I want to go to the setup. I'll quickly start creating the flow. All right, I'm going to build a screen flow now because we wanted to show all the currencies, right? The exchange, the currencies on the home, on the account record page, isn't it? So the ideal option would be, of the different, want a screen flow to be used because I can just show it on the screen. Yeah. So let's get a screen flow. Let's click on create. Okay, good. So this is where I start. Yeah. But from here, how do I make a call to this API, correct? So all you have to do is just look for, I'll just click on the plus sign. I'm going to add an element. That is this action. We know that, right? In Salesforce Flow, this action, this action is kind of a predefined implementation that Salesforce has already done for us. For example, I want to send an email. I have the from address to address the email content body. I want to send an email. I can do that very, using this email action. I want to post something in the chat. I can use this action to post something in the chat. I want to trigger an approval process. I can do that, using this action. Okay. So when I click this, as I said, Salesforce has built all the actions for us, pre-built actions. All I need to know is how to use that. That's all I need to know. Yeah. One such action Salesforce has introduced, especially for making API callouts, is create HTTP callout. This is what we're going to do it. But before I hit this button and then start configuring it, right, there are certain things we need to do. Okay, there are certain things we need to do. So let's look into that first and then come back and then start from here. Okay, so I'll close this for now. Okay, I'll click on, maybe I'll just add a screen just for, so this is my exchange rate. Okay, and I need an input display text because I want to show this exchange rate, right? I'll just say out is the API name. I'll just say to be implemented. Okay, yeah. I'll click on done. So, yeah, I'll click on save. First, let me save this flow. Okay, exchange rate, right? Um, exchange rate, perfect. Let's click on save. Super. So before you even get started, and then and then configure this HTTP callout, what I'm going to do is there are a few things we need to upfront configure. Okay, so what are they? These are the steps. Okay, the very first thing is we need to create an external credential. We need to create external credentials, principal, named credential, enable API access. Too much information, right? But there is a reason, why we need this. Okay, there is a reason to it. So to understand these concepts, right? The named credential, external credential, why do we really need that, isn't it? So let's take an analogy. Okay, so now imagine that, right? You are an employee of an organization, right? I work for HCL, you work for a company, right? So you and I'm the credential, right? So Rajesh works for HCL, right? But how does someone let me in into the organization? If I just go to the office, somebody has to accept that, or at least somebody has, or the security staff, right, should accept that, okay, Rajesh works for HCL. If I go to him and then simply say that I work for HCL, can you let me into the office, right? Nobody will let me in, isn't it? Yeah. So somehow I have to prove my credential that I'm really working for HCL, isn't it? How does it happen? So credential, right, wants to access or get to the office, isn't it? And what do we use? We use our access card, isn't it? So the access card, you have simple magnetic strip, but it's got all the secrets in it, right? It's got my employee ID. It's got the ODC, which I have been given access to, isn't it? It's got everything in it, but it's safe and secure. Just by taking a look, just by taking a look at the card, right? You cannot just like, you cannot just understand anything written inside the card, right? So everything, the secrets are kept, safe inside this access card. That is precisely, what we call external credential. Okay. So in Salesforce, if I want to make a call to an API, isn't it? If I want to make a call to an API, yeah. So I need to first have that authentication done. Just like how I can use this access card to get into the office, I need to tell that API I am the authorized person. Okay, I'm the authorized person to access this API. We have this API key, isn't it? Yeah. Somewhere we need to, we need to declare that, okay, this is how I'm going to authenticate to access this API. Okay, all that information will go into this external credential. Okay. And name the credential again. Rajesh wants to gain access to, or Rajesh wants to enter into the office, correct? So this office entity refers to the URL. So I want to access a particular API URL. So that is what you will define in the named credential. And the external credential, you will define how you would like to access this API. Okay, through this API key, or you provide username, password, or you use OAuth protocol, all such, or use JWT, all such, options. But this is where you configure how you would like to access the authentication part. But this is where you configure the named credential, is where you configure which endpoint or which API that you wanted to access. Okay, so this is where the named and external credentials, will come into it. And why is it needed? Because the flow will not, we just wanted to offload this credentials management out of flow, so that, when you start automating stuff in flow, you can just only focus on the automation. You don't have to worry about, setting up this API, setting up this username, password to access the API, setting up this key, all such things. No, let's offload that part to the named and external credentials. Then we can just focus only on the automation part. Okay, so this is where the named credential and external credentials come into the play. Okay, and then, so the next thing is about this external credentials principle. Okay, so where do I use this? So simple definition. Okay, so when you create a flow, or when you create a automation, right, that makes a call to an external API. Yeah, you don't want everybody in your org, every user in your org, right, to use that particular functionality. You wanted to restrict one, group of users, or a profile users, right, to are allowed to make an API call. Okay, so how do I control that? I can just use permission set, or I can use the profile. Okay, I can do that. But how do I permission set or link my profile, to this configuration, named and external credentials, right? So this is done using this external credentials principle. Okay, so this is theory, whatever I have just told you, right? Let's see that in action, how we can able to achieve this. Okay, so let me go there. So let me go to my org. Okay, so I'll close this. We'll come back to this flow again. Okay, so before even we get started with the flow, I'm going to go to this named credentials. Okay, and I'll go to the external credentials one. Yeah, if you look at this, create external credential. As I said, this is where you configure all the authentication part, everything. So I'll click on this new. I'm going to give a name. I'll just say EC external credential exchange rate API. Yeah, I'll give a name which is nothing but an API name, because an API name, it won't accept any special characters or spaces. And this is, as I said, right, external credential configuration will help you to configure how you would like yourself to access an API. So there are multiple options available. I'm going to go with this custom, because for me to access this particular URL, right, all I need is an API key. That's it, right? So if somehow I manage to add this API key, that's it. Okay, I'm all good to go, isn't it? So I'll say custom in this case. Okay, so click on save. Perfect, right? So the first thing is completed. Okay, what is step one? as I said, principal, isn't it? Yeah, principal. So again, this is going to help you to control who can access or who is allowed, which users are allowed to make a call out from Salesforce. Okay, I'll create a simple principle now. Okay, I'll click on this, and let's say this is a external, or I'll just say exchange rate principle. Okay, so I can have multiple, you can create multiple principles. I'll just go with just one. I'll click on save. Okay, I'll make it very simple. This was first example, so that you will understand how things work. Then in the chat GPT, we will just make some few modifications here. I will just start using custom address in chat GPT. Okay, but this one, let's make it very, very simple. Okay, the step one, step two completed, isn't it? What is step three? Step three is I need to create a named credential, isn't it? And this is where, right, as I said, I want to access this URL. So I want to instruct Salesforce that, hey, this is the URL that I want to access. Okay, let's go back here. Let's click on external credential. I'm sorry, named credential. So this is the one that we created. I'll go to named credentials tab. So nothing is there. Let's create a new one. Okay, I'll just say name credential, exchange rate API. Okay, so I will just go and then add this. Okay, perfect. And as I said, this is where you just tell the URL. Okay, so remember, this is the URL, right? What I'm going to do is I'll just copy until this point. I want to make this USD dynamic. Okay, I'll ensure flow is passing this data. Okay, USD data, and this is where the URL comes into the play. That's it. Okay, so now my secrets are safe. Okay, so I created a named credential, and this is where I map that external credential. So now what it means, when Salesforce looks at this credential, Salesforce knows that this is the URL that Rajesh would like to make a call, right? And how does the authentication should happen, right? So that information is preserved in this external credential. Perfect, right? There are other things available as well. Okay, sometimes we wanted to make a call to this extra, we wanted to use this named credential from our Apex code, where you want to automatically generate some authorization letter programmatically. Okay, in such cases I can use all these options. Okay, but now here, in this one, okay, we are not going to touch any single line of code, write a single line of code. So I'll just go with the configuration one. Okay, so simply we created a named credential. We just added we just mapped an external credential, right? Cool. I'll click on save, and all these things, right? Namespaces, everything will help if you're doing this for an ISV, for an app exchange. Okay, you can mention the namespace, all such things. Good. So this is also completed now, right? So step one, step two, step three completed. Step four, as I said, I can use this principle, the external credentials principle, to control who can access this, or who can, make a call out, make a call out. So I'll go, and then first time, let's use this permissions. In the next example, I'll just show you how you can able to do that using profile. Okay, I'll create a permission set. I'm gonna create a new permission set. Okay, I'll just say enable access. Okay, oh sorry, enable access to exchange rate API. Okay, so this is permission set, okay, that I've just created. Once this is done, all I have to do is I just have to go to the permission set. So you have a separate section called external credential principal access, right? Just click on that. Now let's click on edit, and now you can just see that external rate principal that we configured, right, at the time of creating this external credential. Click on that, add it. That's it. Okay, so now your permission set and the exchange on the named credential, external credentials, that everything is linked now. Okay, so now I can use this permission set and then control who can make this API call. Very simple. Okay, I can just go to the, in this case, right, I am the guy, I'm the one develop this flow, and then I want to test this flow, right? So I'll go to Rajesh. So this particular user record, click on the permission set assignment, click on edit assignments, just look for that and then just add this. Okay, so now what it means is Rajesh, right? Rajesh is a user who can able to make a call out to the external exchange rate API. So when the what does it mean when this flow is developed, right? Yeah, and when the flow is deployed or placed on the home page or on the account page, right? When I log in and then when I go to the account record page, I can see the flow working. Okay, if the same flow, okay, let's say the same if the let's say if Priyanka, right? If Priyanka logs in, if Priyanka logs into uh, the org, okay, and if she goes to the account record page, the screen flow will not work for her. The reason is I have not given access, I'm not given this permission set, assigned to Priyanka. Okay, so you should be watchful. You should be watchful when you create this permission set or when you use this API, right? Okay, you can decide which user can make a call out. Yeah, can make a call out. So that is controlled through this permission set of profit. Okay, yeah. So remember this point so that you can control everything. Yeah, as an administrator or a flow developer. I think pretty much we are done with our steps. Now all we need to do is we need to just use them. Use these named credentials, etc. Right, back in our flow. Okay, back in our flow. So let's go back to our flow and then start creating it. Yeah. So let's go to the flow. And I think we had this exchange rate, right? Let's click on that. All right. So what I'm going to do is the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this plus sign. As I said earlier, we'll use actions, Salesforce actions, so that Salesforce I can just start using this HTTP callout. I click on HTTP callout. Okay. So the first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to create an external service. Okay. Again, the concept of external service is very, very simple. You are letting Salesforce know that there is an endpoint waiting for me. I'm going to make a call to that endpoint. That's it. As the name indicates, right? So calling an external service. Okay. Something outside of Salesforce. That's the external service for you. Okay. So what happens is, right, whatever you configure on the front end. Okay. So back in the yeah. So back in this, yeah, back in the org, everything gets created. Okay, and this is where the Salesforce, right, automation, or the no code solution come into the play. Okay, so you are not going to write any code, but whatever you configure right here gets translated, and automatically the code is generated behind the scenes. The external services is created. Whatever is needed to make this call out work, everything is auto created by Salesforce for you. Okay, so let's see it in action. Okay, let's say this is my exchange rate external service, isn't it? Yeah. So I'm not going to give any space here because this is going to create a service and it will not accept any special characters or space. So no space. Okay. And this is where I map that named credential. Remember in the previous step we created that, right? Just map it, and you can just see this automatically. The URL appears right here, isn't it? Yeah. So as I said earlier, we just offload that authentication, URL configuration, everything outside of the flow, and back in the flow, we are just going to focus on our automation. That's all it is. I'll see what happens. Okay, I have to create an invocable action. Okay, so first the external credential, the second one is invocable action. Let's create this first and then see what happens. Okay, so the first thing is I'm gonna say this is uh, exchange rate API invocable action. I'll just name it as this. Okay, and what am I going to do? With that URL, I'm gonna get something, or I'm gonna send some information, or I'm going to use that API to automation that defines the method, isn't it? So in this case, all we are going to do is we are just going to call this URL and then get a piece of information, right? It's a get. Yeah, it's a get. So I'll go here and then I'll just choose the HTTP method as get. That's it. Okay. And then this is where you can just see this at the URL. Okay. This is where I can just mention the I can mention the what do you call, I can mention the details like USD. I can do that. Okay. As in I can just say currency code. I'll just say, yeah. So I can just say slash, yeah, currency code. So The thing that you should you should focus on this. It is possible for you to make this dynamic. Okay, and what you can do is you can able to use this curly brace. Okay, curly brace to denote that I'm gonna dynamically send this currency code. Okay, it could be USD, it could be INR, whatever it is. Okay, if you want a hard code, well and good, you can do that. You can just simply say USD. You can do that. Okay, yeah. So this is also possible, or you can just make it dynamic as well. Okay, first let me do this. Okay, the next example will make it dynamic. Okay, yeah. So cool, URL path is done, and I'm not sending any query string parameters, isn't it? So this is my URL. So this URL does not have any query string parameters like a equal to 1, ampersand b equal to 2, whatever it is, right? I don't have any query string parameters right here, so I'm going to leave this as is. I'm not going to set anything. Okay, and this is very important whenever you deal with HTTP callout. Okay, I need to provide a sample response. Why should I do that, isn't it? So there is a reason to it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to first give the response, then we can come back and then cross check why this is needed. Yeah, so ideally this is the response, isn't it? So this is the actual response that we receive from the from this API call, right? So let me copy this entire one. Copy. I'll go back here. I'll click on new. Okay, and I'll say exchange rate, sample response. I can give any name. Okay, and I'll just simply paste this one. I know this is too much, but what I need is I need only 3, right? I need probably I'll have this removed. Okay, I'll have other things removed. Again, this is sample. Don't worry about the actual values, all such things. Okay, just a sample one. Okay, so I need AED, I need AUD, I need INR. Okay, only 3, only 3 currencies information, not all the currency information. Okay, I'll keep remaining things as is. Okay, but why is it needed? If I click on review, okay, automatically, right, it tells me a data structure. So basically Salesforce is trying to convert this JSON, right, into an Apex class. That is what is happening. Okay, so why do I need this? Because we are working with a complex data type, right? We're not working with simple integer or a string or a boolean. If I have to work with a string, then I can just say name equal to Rajesh, string name equal to Rajesh. If I have to work with a boolean, I'll just say um, boolean boolean active equal to true or false. I can do that, right? But this one, right, it's a JSON format, isn't it? Yeah, and for every API, the format the format will be different, isn't it? And that's the reason Salesforce is trying to understand the response, the expected response, and it's trying to convert that into an Apex class. Okay, but again, we don't have to worry anything about this. Okay, you don't have to worry anything about this. All these things are taken care of. Okay, this Apex class creation, everything is taken care by Salesforce. Okay, and if you watch closely, right, this result, okay, is holding some string, right? Some string, okay, something, yeah. And this holds USD holds a number, right? And this holds a decimal. You can just see this accordingly, right? The data is mapped. Yeah, the data type is mapped. Yeah, so now let's click on done and then see what happens. I should review this. Okay, review. Yeah, done. Perfect. If you see a green checkbox, then you're all good. I'll click on save. Okay, so there are a lot of things happening behind the scenes. I'll just show you very quickly what just happened. You got a success message, right? Access is created. Let's give a name to this action. I'll just say call exchange rate service. Okay, yeah, everything is. I'll just click on done. That's it. Our job is done. Okay, but behind the scenes, a lot of things happen. Okay, I'll just take you a quick walkthrough of what happened. Okay, so before we created that flow, there was this XML service was empty. Now you can just see, right, whatever you configured on the screen automatically, right, convert automatically. An XML service was created. Not only if I go to this Apex classes, okay, Apex you will just start seeing something. Okay, so this is a dynamic Apex class, something that Salesforce has automated for you. Okay, you can just see you can just see two other, right? Yeah. So this is the lifeline. This is the lifeline of your flow. Okay, if you then it's so easy for you to work with any APIs for that matter. Any APIs for it. So what is this, Rajesh? Let's take a look. Okay, and then we can test our flow. Okay, yeah. So I think this is what we did. Okay, I'll just quickly summarize. So we created an external service, right? And then we went ahead and then we just configured this HTTP callout. Yeah. So in our case, I hard coded UST, right? As I said earlier, it is possible for you to dynamically send value as well. So we'll do that in the next example. Okay. This is what we did. Sample response we provided, and then anyways, this time so this is not okay. Yes. So this got translated into this because since this is what happened, right? So this got translated into this, and if you look at this, right, this sample response. So based on this response, Salesforce has generated an Apex classes for you. Okay. If you take a look at this entire JSON, right? It's been translated into this external rate API service, and inside this JSON, you have another node, right? Conversation rates to hold that. Okay, Salesforce has created this one for the last one, right? Conversation conversion x5 rates. So basically, this entire JSON, right? It's stored particular Apex. Okay, and you can see this Apex class as well. So when I open this, it will for you. Okay, auto generated Apex right here. Okay, and just see all the keys, right, in your USD, AED conversion, everything, you will see as a property right here. Okay, so you will just see this one time frame. Where else? So this is, maybe I'll just go there and then show you this quickly. Yeah, you can just see this INR, you can just see this USD, AUD, right? So every key that you see right here has been converted right into a property. Okay, so that I can use this to send data, to receive data. That's the main reason, why we have this Apex, defined classes. Okay, yeah. Behind the scenes, this is what is happening. Yeah, you can just see this conversion rate. There is a separate, Apex class created. Again, everything is done by Salesforce. So with that, let's go and then cross check. Let's first debug and then see whether this works or not. Yeah, let's click on debug. I click on run. Okay, something is wrong. We couldn't access the credentials. Okay, did I not add myself? Yes, this is happening because you can just see this error, right? We couldn't access the credentials. For you might not have the required permission. This is because I'll go here. I have logged in as John Doe. Yeah, I have logged in as John Doe. Let me go to John Doe. John Doe user. Okay, so this is where the John Doe's, uh, user record is. Click here and let's cross check whether John Doe has been given that permission set. I don't so, right? And that is the reason the flow did fail. I was just telling, right? You can able to control who can make a call out, right? If John Doe does not have access, that is the reason it did not work for him. Let me go and then add an assignment. Perfect, isn't it? So now let's go back. Let's close this and then debug again. Okay, now John Doe has been given access. Let's click on debug. Click on run. Now you can just it started working. Yeah, and now you can just call me to the service. And this is what I was just expecting. You can just see this. This is the output, isn't it? I'll copy this. Okay, I'll copy this. What I'll do is JSON link just to okay, looks like it's got some an additional bracket. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, this is the one. So you can just see this is the output, right? And this is exactly what we want, correct? The conversation, the conversion frame rates, right? Conversion rates, and this is the data that we want, correct? That's it. So now our API call is working fine. All we need to do is we need to access this, we need to access key and then get the data, which is fairly simple. I'll go here in the exchange rate. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say 1 USD equal to, I'll click on this insert resource. Okay. So this is the element that made a call to the external service, right? The API. Click here and you will find this underscore, we'll have 2x. This is where the entire response, whatever you are seeing right here, this entire response, it's there. Maybe I'll just close this. I'll do it again. Okay, this entire response, okay, you will find it in this. When I click here, go and then go to 2xx, you will find the entire response. In that response, we have another section, right? JSON section, conversion rates. Click here, you will find the the properties. Yeah. So I'll just say INR. Okay, I'll do the same. 1 USD equal to. Okay, I'll do the same again. Output to XX and apex defined. I'll just say AD. Perfect, right? And I'll have 1 USD. Click here, go to that action, and then take AUD. Yeah. I'll just say AUD. Yeah. So I don't want this to be. Okay, of course I can add to just appealing. I can also include a image. Okay, I can just use this. Let me just do that. Is it done? Yes. So I can also align everything. I can make it center line. That's it. Done. Okay, let's click on save and activate. Okay, let's add this screen flow to our account pages and then see how this works very, very quickly. We go here. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up one of the schools and then let's go here. Let's go to edit page and let's look for the flow. And right here, let's drag and then drop. And the one that we just created is exchange rate. That's it. Click on save. Perfect. So I think first time I'm making a change to this page. I'll make it as or default. Next. Yeah. Save. Changes saved. Let's go back. Let's see whether the call is made or not. Perfect. This is what we wanted to, we wanted to do, right? I think I can go back and then remove this, yeah. Show footer, done, save as, save. I will simply, that's it. Let's try some other, yeah, prints matriculation, and you can just see the exchange rate right here without that footer. Perfect, isn't it? So now we made a very simple, API integration. Just making a call to an API with custom integration, all such things, isn't it? Yeah, the data fairly simple, as you can just see, isn't it? And key takeaway. So you have to break this into 2 steps. Okay, step 1, you need to ensure that the credentials are kept safe. Okay, the API, the URL of the API that you want to access to, and the credentials, right? Whether it is username, password, or any custom headers or whatever it is. So that needs to be preserved somewhere. So this is where the named credentials, external credentials come into the play, right? You use permissions a profile to manage who can make a call out to this API, correct? Then come to the flow, just start using this action, HTTP callout, and then you can able to make a call out easily. Yeah. So I hope this is fairly simple. Okay. I'll look into the questions. Okay. After this, after we complete the ChatGPT integration. Okay, because we need to spend a little more time there. Okay. Um, so what we're going to do now is we're going to pick up another use case, okay, and then see how it can be implemented using ChatGPT. Yeah. So this is the use case that we are going to solve today. Yeah. So as an administrator or a flow dev, asked to derive a review summary. So you have this Amazon, and then you just leave a feedback. And if you go to the reviews, right, the customer reviews in Amazon, you can tags, right, value for money, totally right, not worth for money, or performance issues. Basically, there is a intelligence applied on the feedback provided by the user, so that we get a concise summary whether the user really liked this or not. If the user liked, okay, like, then what is the positive note that the user has used in the field. So basically you wanted to concise the review. Okay, concise the review. So for that purpose, we are going to use ChatGPT API. So where are we going to use this? We're going to use this in the case. So of course,
Rajesh,
we create.
Rajesh, 1 second. Uh,
Yeah.
there is a question from Uma, right? So that when we can make it a dynamic? Are we going to show now? Currency,
Uh,
a dynamic currency.
oh, how can we make it dynamic? Okay, fairly simple. I will
Yeah,
do that right away. So before we move forward.
thanks,
So
Rajesh. Thanks.
oh, I hard coded this, right? Okay, again, this is a limitation here. Okay, now once this is configured, right? Once this call is configured or the action is configured, right? You cannot go back and then make some edits here. Okay, except that change the label, etc. All these things. Okay, yeah. So what I'm gonna do is, um, I'm gonna create another action. Okay, I'll do that very quickly. So I'll just say this is mm, exchange area. So I'll just quickly map the credentials. Okay, that's it. Oh, sorry, there should be any space. Again, invocable action, I'll just say exchange rate API, get method, and then this is where you have to make it dynamic, isn't it? So as I said earlier, to make something dynamic, use curly brace. Okay, I'll just say currency code. Whatever you call it, yeah. This makes this particular input dynamic. Then same thing provides that we will do it. So the moment you enable this, right, yeah, so it will say that, okay, Rajesh, you are going to send me some currency code, right? What is the data type? I'll just say this is system. Okay, yeah. So provide base currency, just a help description. Okay, currency here, yeah. And the last thing, remember, we have to provide the response, right, so that Salesforce will know. I'll copy this. We'll use this response, and then we'll dynamically create the classes for us, right? So I'll just say sample response. Okay, and I'll remove things that are not really needed. AED, let's keep. AUD, let's keep. Let's keep INR. Okay, so this is just a sample response. As I said earlier, don't have to worry about the data. Okay, in fact, say 0.02 as do this. Okay, yeah, don't worry about the actual data, just that, yeah, review, done. This will create, done. Perfect, right? The only change that we did from the previous implementation is this: we just added this, made this URL path, right, dynamic, right? And then let's click on save. But behind the scenes things are happening. Good. So now a new call to or dynamic input, call to API. Okay, and call API. I see this, right? Oh, I think I just added a additional slash. I shouldn't have done that. Mm. Anyways, I'll show you how it works, how you can do that. Okay. Yeah. So all you have to do is, now this is I need to send the value. I can just say USD right here. Or what I can just simply go here and then create a variable. Okay, v underscore base currency. If you don't want to hard code that, okay. Yeah, text. I can just have this used right here. Okay, a simple variable for me. Click on done and just map it. That's it. Okay. Click on done. That the remaining things same. Okay. I click on done. I shouldn't have given an additional slash here. Okay. Ensure that the slash is not given when you configure. Okay. Yeah. I'll click on done. Okay. That's it. Okay. So this is how you can able to dynamically pass the input. Okay. So instead of hard coding, you can just mention your dynamic variable in the curly brace. Okay. Anyways, all right. Anyways, I think we are because
And one more thing, Viraj. So if
oh
you
yeah,
want to
please
remove the slash, right, you can go to the name credentials and you can remove it, right?
remove it. Correct.
There,
Right from this
there
one, we
only
cannot
we'll
do
have
that.
that.
Correct. Right from the screen, it is not possible for me, but I can go and then go, behind the scenes because now we know what is happening behind the scenes, right? I can go to that. I can go to that, name the credentials and then remove the slash. I can do that. So behind the scenes, what is happening? Yeah. So we can do that. Thanks, Anna, for that. Yes. Okay. I see a lot of questions. Anyways, let me move forward because chat gpt is we need to spend a little more time. Okay, it will take at least 20 minutes for us to talk about that. We'll just focus on that chat gpt integration now. Okay, where did you store the value of dynamic variable? Anywhere, for that matter. So in this case, I created a new source and you can just see the usd created right here, isn't it? Yeah, I can just store that value, or you can store that value right in a custom settings. Okay, or you can just fetch the data from the base currency from your org information as well. That is also perfectly fine. Okay, the point is you have a dynamic variable available to which you can just send the data to. Where do you preserve that data, either from the table or using custom settings, or just like this a variable with a hard coded value, right? Anything is fine. Okay, yeah. All right, with that, let me first keep this one. Okay, not activate this. I'll close this. Okay, all right. Yes, now let's switch back to ChatGPT integration. Yeah. So this is what we're gonna do. It. I have a case when the case is closed. When the case is closed, and when there's a customer feedback left, right? I want the summary, right? Summary to be auto-generated. Okay. Using this ChatGPT, I will send the summary, the feedback, and ChatGPT will just summarize and extracts the key feedback tags. Okay, how does it look like? Pretty much like this. Okay, so you can just see this, right? There is a case. The case was closed with this feedback from the customer, mixed feedback, positive and negative, negative comments from the user. Okay, and this is the input that goes in the colored one, right? The orange one. This goes as an input to the chat gpt, and chat gpt will get me the bulleted list of the positive and negative information. Yeah, you can just see this, isn't it? This is what how we're going to do it. The steps are pretty much the same, but before we go there, let's go and then get a key for us to start integrity. For that, I'm going to go to this platform.openai.com. So I think this is good now. Platform.openai.com. Okay, so if you go here, okay, of course I can log in first. Yeah, I'll use my Google and then log in. So we are entitled to use $5, isn't it? Or we have the credit of $5. Okay, once you go to platform.openAPI, go to this. On the left, you have this API keys. Okay, you can create multiple API keys right here. Okay, I've already created one. Okay, you can create a new secret key. You can just say this is for flow training. Okay, I can click on this create secret key. So this is a one-time key. Okay, so once I copied, once I said done, that's it. This key, I can't see the key anymore, right? So I have to keep this key safe somewhere, right? I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. So this is the one that we're going to use it, okay, to make a call to ChatGPT. Yeah, number one. Number two, it is completely free, at least, at least for until we consume $5 credit. Yeah, if you go to the usage, right, you will see that. So I was given $5 and then I consumed, a few because I made multiple calls, and each call will cost you 0.02. Okay, so use wisely if you are going to use a free version, or if you have a GPT plus license, which is a paid one. I think you don't have to worry about this. Okay, but for the training and learning purpose, you can just use this, okay, until $5. Yeah, so once you ensure that you have key API key and the usage is there, right? I mean, the credit is there, right? Just start using it. Okay, again, it's free for us to use it, so use it. Okay, I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the main page. Okay, and ChatGPT has got a lot of examples. Okay, one of the examples, one of the prompt examples that I'm going to use it. You can just see this. All these are chat assistants created in ChatGPT. Okay, yeah. The one that I'm using is this review classifier. Okay, so this is where ChatGPT says that how, or OpenAPI says that how I can able to interact with their model GPT 3.5 Turbo. Okay, you can just see a sample request right here. Okay, this is how I should make a call to their API. Okay, very simple. All it says that use this API URL. Okay, I'll use that. I'll use it. Okay, I'll copy that. Okay, I'm going to use Postman just to um, show you how this works. Then we can use Flow and then make a call. Okay, I'll go to this my Postman. Okay, as you can just see this, right? This is the URL to which we wanted to make a call. Okay, the chat GPT URL, and it says then two headers -h, right? Content type, application JSON, and the authorization, and this is where I need to punch in my API key. Yeah, so you can just see this. I have added two headers, okay, in the Postman. Content type, this authorization, and at the key we can probably use the one that we just created. Copy that. I'll go back and then put it right here. Yeah, just be careful. There should be a space between bearer and the key. There should be a space. Okay, so you have to follow the exact instruction as it is given right here. Okay, done. And this is the data that I wanted to pass on. Okay, so this is the data. Anything that so -d, right, represents data. So I'll copy that, and I'm going to go to the body and then put it right here. You can just see this, right? This is the data. So very simple. Okay, very simple. So the OpenAPI says that first I need to give instruction, the system prompt. I need to tell API how to behave, basically. Like hey, you are a tutor, or you are a quiz, you are a consultant. In this case, right? In this case, I'm going to tell the system that you are going to act as a system reviewer, or a reviewer, basically. So I'm telling Open API that I will give you a long text. Okay, and your task, the object, to classify that text, okay, into three segments: positive, negative, and neutral. Yeah, okay, all the other things restrict to 75 terms, 75 words, all these things, right? And again, I'm giving the response, right? I'm saying the ChatGPT give me response in bulleted point, okay, in the groups. Yeah, so this is an instruction to the ChatGPT. Number one. Number two, this is the actual content. Okay, the feedback, right? Yeah, because I'm trying to test this to see whether this is working or not. Then we can do the same in Flow. Okay, and this is the model. I'm using ChatGPT 3.5. I don't have a paid version. Otherwise, I could have used GPT-4. But this one is more than sufficient. Okay. And all these parameters, right? Max tokens refers to the number of words. Temperature refers to the flexibility, how creative that output should be. I'll just set the maximum 0.7 so that I don't want anything to be creative, so that ChatGPT will work only within the scope. Okay. Don't make up any new information. That's what Richard talks about. Yeah. So with that, I'll go and hit send. Let's wait for this response. Yes, I can just see the response right here, isn't it? So it's again a JSON, right? ID object, blah, blah, blah. But this is what I am interested in. Okay. So you can just see this, right? Again, the formatted text, positive, negative, the way how I instructed Salesforce, right? Or I instructed Open API, sorry. Yeah, I can get the output, right? So all I need to do now is I need to, translate this to flow. Okay. And why did I come? Just to check whether my, Open API call is working or not, isn't it? Yeah. So looks like it is. Yeah, looks like it is working. Now let's go to the flow and then start from the start rotation. Okay. I'll go back now to our org. I will close this. I'll go back to our org. Yeah. So again, so this is the first thing that you need. Yeah. And this is the URL that we are using. Just remember that. Anyways, we'll just share all these details. Yes. So I need two things as we when we compare this against what we did earlier, right, with the XVA. Okay. I want to tell the GPT how to behave, right? So this is the instruction. Yeah. Number this is exactly right, the input that I'm sending to the right. Yeah. So this is what I need to send. Yeah. And this is the output that getting back from GPT, correct? I need this information. Why? Remember when we configure this HTTP callout in the previous example, right? We sample response, isn't it? Just like that, now we're going to give sample request as well. Okay. Yeah. So let's get into action instead of talking, right? Let's go back. Yeah. I'll go to the flow. I'm sorry, I'll go to the named credentials first. Okay. Because before even I start with the flow, I need to ensure that all the URL, authentication, everything is taken care, right? Let's start from there. I'll go to external credentials, click on new, easy, and then I'll just say this is for, let's say, feedback classifier. Okay, I'll just name it. Okay, I'll give the API name. Okay, again, no space, it's an API name. And I'll just say, custom authentication. I will do everything. Okay, click on save. Okay, good. And right here, we will create the principal, isn't it? Yeah, through which we can control who can access this API, all such things. I'll just say this is for for feedback review principal. Yeah, principal. Yeah, good. Okay, I'll say save. Okay, done. Okay, I think this is pretty much what we did earlier, right, in our previous example as well, right? But the difference is now I'm going to use custom headers. Why? Because OpenAPI says that I need to send headers, isn't it? Content type and authorization, with this bearer token, right? Let's do that. The previous Exchange API was very simple. I was not, I was, I don't require, to send custom headers, but this time I need to do that. Very simple to do that. So click on new. I will mention this. Okay, I'll go to this example. This is the one, right? I'll copy this content type. Okay, I'll put it right here. Maybe I'll just copy it from here. Easy for me. Copy this, put it right here. That's it. This is the first header. Save. I'll add another header for the authorization token. Let's add, and let's say, and again, just be watchful when you just do this, because it is case sensitive. Number one. Okay. Number two, if you just miss a single, uh, you know, uh, character, or if you just leave additional space, it won't work. Yeah? So cool. Custom meta is also done, right? My external credential is safe. External credential is safe. Now it's time for me to create a named credential. I'll do that very quickly. I'll go back to named credential, add a new one this time, NC feedback reviewer. Feedback review. Yeah, reviewer. Yeah. Let's add the API name as well. Okay. And now the URL. So remember, what is the URL that we need to call? This is the URL, right? Chat completions from OpenAPI. That's it. Yeah. Cool, isn't it? So now let me simply map this feedback classifier. That's it. Yeah. Cool. I'll leave remaining things as is. Okay. I'll click on save. Now this is done. Yeah. So my NC, my EC, both are done. Correct. The last thing is, in the previous example, remember I added a permission set and then I just attached this named principal credentials principal to that permission set. Correct. But this time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try this profile option. So I'm saying that any visitor profile or this custom school IT apps profile, right? I want any users having this profile, should be able to make an API call. Okay, let me do that. System administrator. I'll go to the profile of system administrator, and there is this enabled external credentials for access. Click here. Okay, click on edit, and then let's add this. Save. Okay, now any user having this profile, eligible to make a ChatGPT API caller. That's it. Okay, that's all it is. So I think pretty much, the preliminary steps, everything is completed now, right? Yeah. So I'll close this, and then now it is time for us to create this flow. Yeah. Okay. So first part is completed. Let's go to the flow. Okay. Super. So what is it that we're gonna do it next? Yes, this is what we're gonna do it. Yeah. We're gonna add a call. We're gonna add an external service action. All these things we're gonna do it. Okay, let's do it. Let's go back here. Let's get a new flow, and let's click on record triggered flow, because I want this API call to happen whenever a case is closed, isn't it? Click on record triggered flow, and record triggered flow has got two options, isn't it? So either I can run immediately the automation, or I can run asynchronously. I want this to run asynchronously because I don't know how much time the open API will take to send me the response, right? I don't want the user to keep waiting, I don't want that to happen. So I'll ensure that this is going to run, asynchronously. Okay. So first, let me just say, let me tell Salesforce that you just watch on the case object. Yeah. And whenever a record is updated, yeah, there's an existing case and there is an update, right? And what is the condition in which this API callout should happen, right? All conditions. What are the conditions? The first thing is I should, or I want the system to check the status. Okay, whether somebody has changed the status is changed true. Yeah. Number two, and the status is changed and the changed status is closed. Okay. Not only that, check there is a feedback. If this feedback data is not null, is false, because there is no point in making a call to OpenAI, right, when the feedback itself is not given, right? So I'll check all these conditions right before we make a call to an OpenAPI. Okay, this is done. Okay, I'll just enable this. So now you can just see this, right? A new path has been created for us, right? Perfect. Let's click on save. I'll give a name to this one. I'll just say record triggered flow, and this is what chat GPT review classy or feedback classifier, whatever it is. Let's do that. Done. Yeah. Cool. The flow cannot run because nothing is connected. Yes, that's fine. Okay. I hope the first step is clear, right? Just setting the conditions when to make a call to API, right? So what is the next thing we do? We go here, we click on the action. Okay. And we'll just click on this HTTP column. Okay. Name is external credential. I'll just say this is feedback service or feedback classifier. Okay. External service. Again, no space, no space, because it's going to create a service. And I'll just map that, name the credential, feedback reviewer, right? Yeah, is this the one? Yes. Now I have this URL, appearing in my flow, correct? So let's go back to the next. All right. So now, what is it that we need to do? So we need to create an action. Let's do that. So it's my feedback reviewer invocable action. I'm giving the name, this name, but give any name for that matter. It's not necessary that it has to end with invocable action. Okay, yeah, good. So now you have to decide on that. So unlike the previous example, this time I want to send some data. This one I want to send instructions to GPT, right? So what I'll do is I'll just say this is a post call. Yeah. So when I do that, I'll see this additional option, sample request as well. When I say get, it will just ask me only the response. Okay, because I'm doing post, I need to give a sample request as well. Why are we doing this? Because whatever information that I provide as sample, right, that JSON is going to be used by Salesforce to create classes behind the scenes. Okay, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So I want to provide a sample request. I click on new. Okay, so I'll just say this is feedback classifier, right? Sample response. Okay, so I need a sample request, isn't it? Let me go here. Let's copy this. Okay, let's put it right here. Okay, and you don't have to keep all the data, as I said earlier, right? Okay, so what you can do is you can just simply say some string. Okay, the idea is I'm telling Salesforce that keep a placeholder for me to send some string. Okay, that's it. And same thing here. Okay, some string, whatever it is. Okay, so this will help Salesforce to create a data structure. Basically, it's going to create a class for me. Okay, class for me. So before I do that, I'll go to Apex classes, and you are not seeing any other Apex classes with the name feedback classifier, right? Just exchanged it, isn't it? Let's wait and then complete this step and then see. So now sample request is done. Let's click on done. Okay, now let's try to send the sample response as well. So I'll just say this is my sample response feedback, whatever it is, right? So I'll go here, and this time this response comes really handy. I'll copy this, I'll put it right here. Okay, right here, it should be fine. Okay, again, this is just a text, right? Some text. Oh, yeah, I'll click on review. Before you hit save button or the done button, right, ensure that there is this type map to all the properties or the very properties of your class. Okay, if it is not selected, you can just select something right here, or you can just alter your I just say string. Okay, alter your sample response. Okay, because your sample response drives Apex or Salesforce to create an Apex class. Yeah, so I'll just say string. Okay, yeah, double quotes. Now I'll click on review. So you will just see this, everything is having some data type. Okay, why are we doing this again? Because Salesforce Apex, right, it's a strong data, strongly typed language, right? So during the compile time, Salesforce should know what data type that it is dealing with. That is the reason all these things are needed. Yeah, so let's click on done. Let's click on save. Super. Now this guy is creating a external service for say call chat GPT API. Okay, done, right? Cool. So perfect. And now I need to send the response body. This is an important part. Yeah, so let's pay attention to this. So I need to somehow yeah, I need to somehow form this type of data, correct? Form this structured data, okay, to send to the Salesforce, isn't it? I need to do that, correct? So this is where all the Apex classes that automatically generated right from the previous step, you can just see this. Right? Feedback, a lot of classes created, right? So this is where all these classes are going to help me. Okay, yeah, because I'm going to deal with a complex data type, a JSON for primitive data type, right? So what I'll do is I'll go here. Okay, I'll Salesforce that. Okay, I will give. Okay, that variable will have all the input. Okay, this when I say all the input, messages, instruction to the system, the content. So I'll give everything, okay, to the open API, okay, through a variable. So I'll click this one. I'll click on new resource, okay. You can just see automatically Salesforce has picked up Apex defined. And why Apex defined? Because I'm dealing with complex JSON data. And to hold that complex JSON data, Salesforce has already created bunch of classes for me. You can just see this in body messages. Let's click on this in body and then see what is there. In this particular Apex data type, right? You have everything. The max, the top P, the temperature, messages matching exactly with these keys, right? Model, messages, temperature, max token. You have a property created already. So all I need to do is I need to assign some value to these properties to get that the request body created. That's all it is. Okay. So let's go back. Okay, let's give a name. Let's just say v underscore in request body. I'll just say full request body. I'll just say request body for now. Okay, automatically this is mapped. Okay, this is mapped to that Apex class. This one, right? Sorry, this Apex class, right? In body automatically mapped. Okay, I'll click on. Okay, super. Now I'll click on done. So this is completed. Okay, this part is completed. So I'll click on save. Now it's 12:18. It might take another for us to complete this, okay, because I need, I really wish everybody to complete understanding. Okay, then I'll take questions. Okay, yeah. Now we said we will make, Chat GPT API, correct? And then we also promised that I will just send all the input, in this variable, correct? But the variable is right now empty, correct? There is nothing in this v in, v underscore in body. How do I populate some data into this? Let's do that. Very, very simple. So before even you call this API, let's click on this plus. I'll use this assignment. Okay, I'll just say construct request body. Okay, for API. Yeah, for API. So I'll click on this variable, and this is the one we created, right? I'll click on request. You can just see all the max token, messages, model. Click on model. We go one by one. I go here, click on max tokens. So I just one place. So max tokens, that needs to be equal. Remember what Salesforce was expecting? Max tokens 64, right? I'll say 64. I'll go again and then choose this request body. Then we'll say the model. What is the model it is expecting? GPT 3.5, right? Copy that, paste it right here. And the next one is, this is our request body. And then we'll have this temperature. I think it's 0.7. Then we have top P, isn't it? Top underscore P, which is 1. Perfect. Okay. So far, so good. I'll just say done. Okay. Yeah. But this is just a part of the request body, right? What is more important is this. Messages, correct? So if you focus on this itself, it's a JSON, isn't it? It's an array of, it has multiple inputs, correct? The first part is this system instruction. The second part is this, isn't it? Yeah. So basically this is an array or a collection. So I need to first create this and then put it inside this messages, then create this and then put it inside this messages. Once I do that, then my request body is complete, isn't it? So this is where again we are going to use that external classes that got created. Okay, let's go back. Okay, so let's go back right here. So if you look at this, if you go back to this, where is my Apex classes? Okay, so if you just focus on these two, right, body and body messages, right? I'll click on body messages, this one. I click on this. you are seeing two properties, right? Two properties. One is role, the other one is content, exactly matching with these keys, role and content, right? So this is the guy that I need. I need to this role, assign value to the content, and then add it back to the main request body. How do we do that? Again, fairly simple. Let's go to the box. Click on new resource. Okay. So I'll create a new variable. V underscore in underscore request body underscore message. Okay, underscore message. And I'm going to choose a data type as record. Yeah, record. And record as an apex defined. Okay, so now I can map the apex class, which we have just seen. I'll go to the classes, click here. Okay, look for the external API, that external API, external dynamic class, right? The apex dynamic class that got created. So let's go here, and this is the one, right? Feedback classifier. Just carefully, choose the right class. Okay, so we are looking for not out, it's an input. So not out, out, out underscore 2xx. Yes, this is the one, right? In, if you look at the last one, in underscore body underscore messages, isn't it? So what else we have? I think this is the one. Let's click on this. Okay, that's it, we are done. Okay, super. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this plus. I'll go with another assignment. Okay, another assignment right here. I'll just say construct request message. Okay, construct request message and add to main body. Okay, so this is the okay. Let's go back here. So I'll click this one. I'll just look for this message. This is giving me the role, right? So I'll just say role equal to, let's copy this from here, system. Okay, done. Hard coded this, but again, don't have to hard code. You can use custom labels, settings, or move it and do it. Okay, whichever is convenient for you. First, and then I'll just say content. Okay, let me use a variable. Okay, I'll create a new resource. I'll just say v underscore system prompt. Okay, and I'll say text. I'll have this value hard coded. Okay. So recommend to use custom metadata type or custom settings outside of Salesforce Flow, so that you can able to change the system prompt without modifying the same flow. Okay. Anyways, for now let's do that. Okay, that's system prompt is completed. So I will go and then add this now to the main request body. So the messages, it's a collection, right? I'll just say add this, whatever we just created, right? V underscore request message. That's it. My first part is completed now, isn't it? So now I managed to create a variable, correct? Create a variable, apex defined variable, and then I managed to add the role and the content. And once this is done, I ensured that this is gone inside this collection messages in the third line, right? Cool, isn't it? Let's repeat the same. Okay. Let's just say v underscore request body message dot role. So this time the role has to be equal to the user. Okay, and let's try this again. And the content, right, should be equal to. Okay, should be equal to. So this is going to be dynamic in our case, right? This we end our record, our case records feedback, isn't it? So this is what needs to go into as an input to the open API. Other things are fine, okay, but should be dynamic. So I just picked the customer feedback from the record itself. That's it. Once done, let's click here and let's click on the request body messages. Put this as well into the collection. That's it. Okay. Yeah. So this is how you should work with the API. Okay. So the knowledge about this dynamic class is created and how you can able to map the to a variable variable is critical here. Okay, because ChatGPT Open API, has got this format like this. Some might have a different format, right? So you should be really, you should be once you understand this connection, right? This external, this dynamic Apex classes, and then Apex data type in Flow, then things will become so easy for you. Okay. Anyways, let's complete this first. Done. So now my request is completed, right? Remember, this is what I'm just sending this v underscore in request body to this to the open API, right? Let's save and then debug. If this works, then we are all good to go. So I'll click on debug. Okay, I'm gonna say run asynchronously. Just keep all the cases. I'll pick one of the cases. Okay, yeah, what I'll do is I'll put some data in it. Okay, customer feedback. Let's try the same. At least partially I'll just copy. Okay, I'm gonna test just Flow, if this is working or not. Okay, I'll click on run. Okay, open API is taking time, but this is what we want. Okay, I think there is no error, which is a good thing, right? When the call was made, I think we got the output. You can just see this, right? Is this the one? No, this is the output, right? So yes, whenever there is an API call made from Flow, all the data gets preserved. The output is preserved in this 2xx variable. Yeah, and this is the one, the output that we received, isn't it? I'll copy that. I'll put it in the JSON validator. We'll try to align this. Yes, is this what we are looking for? Yes, you can just see this positive feedback and the negative feedback, etc., etc. Correct. Now all I need to do is I need to find a way to read this content, correct, and then update case data. That's all it is. Okay. Okay, and this is where again we need to spend some little more time to understand this response. How do I get into this content? Because it is somewhere deep in the JSON, right? JSON, correct? And there is another JSON inside this usage. There is another collection called choices. Yeah, inside the collection, you have this content. Inside the choices, you have this content, correct? Again, this is inside this message. So all the way from the top, you have to go to the choices. You have to go to the message, and then inside the message, you need to read the content, correct? That's pretty tedious work, but we have to do that. Okay, and one more thing you should focus on, this choices. This is a collection, as you can just see, right? This is a collection. Okay, so you cannot directly access some data from a collection in Flow. You have to use a for loop. Okay, you have to use a for loop, and that is the next thing we are going to do. Okay, so I don't know, Ayappan, is it okay to continue for another 5 minutes?
Yeah, Rajesh, you can quickly complete. So,
Yeah, because I
yeah,
already
we'll take
have
5
an
minutes.
implemented show.
Yeah, you can show it if you are ready.
There are a lot of questions, I believe. So, okay, I'll make it a little quick. Okay,
Yeah.
so now our API call is working. All we need to update that. So what I'll do is, first I'll go here. I'll create a new resource. Okay, to read the entire response. So I'll just say read v underscore out underscore full response. Okay, I'll use this Apex defined again. Okay, and if you look at this external service, right? So there is this out underscore 2xx. Just choose that. Okay, so this will now, this Apex class is created to hold the entire response that is coming from the Open API. Okay, I will click on done. Okay, so I'll go here and then use an assignment again. Okay, so I'll just say read response. Okay, what I'll do is I'll just simply go and then choose that Apex defined of. Okay, then that should be equal to whatever the output that is coming from the previous step from the ChatGPT. Yeah, 2x. That's it. Clear, right? So this is cool. I'll say done. What is happening? I think not I've not selected the right apex defined data type, I believe. That's the reason it is throwing an error. So let's try this. I choose a variable v underscore. Okay, let me first go here. Okay, so let's cross check this. So we have this 2x, this one, right? Out underscore 2xx. Yes, this is the one. Or simply I'll do this. Okay, what I need is I need this choices, right? I need this choices so that I can able to I loop through this choice and then read the content. I'll go to this record trigger flow. I'll just say response body underscore choices. Okay, so I'll just choose apex defined data type, and in the classes, okay, I will look for the class file that is going to hold all the classes for me, choices for me. I'll go here, 2x usage, choices message, choices. This is going to be this is holding multiple. This is an array, so I'll just as well. I'll click on done. Okay, now so I'll go to the assignment. I'll just say read choices array. Okay, I'll go and then select the choices. That should be the value should come from the output 2xx and then choices. That's it. Okay, done. So now what I did is in this particular step, I managed to read this chunk alone. Okay, this chunk alone. Okay, now I can able to loop through because this is a collection. I have to loop through, which is fairly simple and flow. I'll go here and then I can just simply look for the loop. Okay, I can just say loop choices, and I'll just say loop this choices. Okay, first to the last item. When it loops, I can just have a assignment statement again. Okay, I'll just say read final content. Okay, from a. Okay, so basically I'm going to use I can use a variable. I can create another variable. Okay, v underscore, I'll just say final content to store that negative, right? So I'll just use this final content. I'll just say text. I'll say done. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just say go to this current item, get me that message and content for me. That's it. Okay, thing is I'm saying that go to this message, go into the content value. Okay, and then back to the variable. Okay, once this is done, the last step is very, very simple. Click here, update the triggering record. So update case summary. Yeah, and simply we can have that feedback summary with the resource or with that variable v underscore final content. That's it. Okay, perfect, right? So we read the data and then we just update it. Okay, so the point is, okay, so you need to understand the response format. Okay, and then if it is in the collection, use loop. In the previous example, it was fairly simple, the exchange rate API. We did not have to use the loop, but here, because it is there, the actual content that we are looking for, it is inside a collection, we have to use a loop. Okay, so with that, our implementation is done. It is time to activate. All I have to do is go and then test it. Let me debug and then try this once before I skip the condition, pick up a case. Okay, let me just take some text. Hit run. Let's see. Works. Perfect. I think this works fine. Yeah, there is no error. Cool. Let's try this directly from the page. So I'll go and then pick up one of the cases. Okay, I'll just change the status to closed. Okay, and I'm going to put some description right here. Do I have anything? Let's try this. The second off. So let's try this one. Copy. Paste it. I know that's too much, but let's try this. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay. In the customer feedback, I'll enter this. Okay, and let's save this one. So this is going to run asynchronously. So the moment the user save, click on save, right, you will not see this immediately because we configured the record flow to run asynchronously, isn't it? About a second or two for the system to to update the summary. Okay, if it works fine, then we're all good to. Yes, now we can just see this, right? The feedback summary has just been updated by making a call to the API, ChatGPT API, isn't it? So I know I just overrun by 10 minutes. Okay. Um, but no, we have seen it. So this is important. Okay. So the thing is, we did now know how to make a call to a ChatGPT. Correct. Not only that, for any APT integration for that matter. Okay, not just ChatGPT. Okay, now you have seen how easy it is to use Flow to make a call to an API, correct? And then data back in the system or process anything automatically. Yeah. So that's much from my end. I will take questions.
Rajesh. Yeah, I believe we have only two questions.
Okay, super.
Q&A
Where
type.
did
Yeah.
you post the API key for ChatGPT example, Rajesh? So we configured that, Uma, when we configured. Where is it? When we configure the external credential. I'll go there one more time just for to show you this again. So remember, all the secrets are kept, are kept in the external credentials, right? So if we go here, in the feedback classifier, external credential, you can just this, right? So this is where your API key, the open API key is safe and secure. Okay. So that back in your flow, you don't have to worry about it. Yeah. So everything is coming directly from the external credential. Do we need to configure remote site settings? No, Satya. So that is not needed. That's the good part of it. Okay. If you use the named credential, right, where the URL is configured, right, you don't have to configure the remote site credentials. It will work just like that. Okay. So that's pretty much from my end. Um,
Any other question? So that we can take it up. Else we can move to next topic.
all right. I think I think you're over.
I think no, Rajesh. Yeah. Uh, so thanks, Rajesh, for your detailed and information.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Ayyappan, for this opportunity. I should thank you and Krishna for providing me
That's
this
true.
opportunity. Yes, Uma, we will continue to do more sessions like this. We have few plans in the pipeline. Okay, we will certainly do that. Is there any limitation to use flows for creating
The
HTTP
last one.
callouts instead of programming callouts, and we can use the flow? It's our design decision, Vignesh. At the end of the day, right? Think about it now. With this knowledge, right, a consultant or an administrator can able to implement something that requires that used to be done only by the developers. Think about from the maintenance standpoint as well. Yeah. So you don't have to write an Apex class, you don't have to test the Apex class, you don't have to worry about the code coverage. Everything is taken care in the flow, correct? Yeah. All configuration. So that's the good part of it. Okay. So at the end of the day, it is a design decision. Now the thing is, right, it clearly shows that we can able to do complex stuff using Salesforce Flow. Yeah. So that's the thing that we need to. It's a key takeaway, Vignesh. Yeah. Okay.
Rajesh, please share your LinkedIn profile. Maybe anyone having questions regarding the follows so that they can reach out.
We'll do that.
Yeah. Anyhow, thanks, Rajesh, for your detailed session. So
Thank you so much.
the
Thank you.
participant may learn again and implement in their current project. That would be helpful. So we'll move forward with the next uh, session.